Hey. Sorry, it's been a while. These videos seem to be getting fewer and farther in between, which I want to try to avoid because that's how things like this just kind of stop. And I don't want that to happen. We're doing their... Oh, you know what? And do it up. I'm so tired, man. And you know, it probably doesn't help that it's 6:30 and I haven't gone to sleep yet. This isn't me waking up. This is me. I'm about to go to bed. Went to work today. And, I don't know, man. It was fucked up. My manager, like, yelled at me in front of a bunch of my coworkers, which is a really lame thing to have happen to you. And it's kind of... It's one of those things where it is, like, it is what it is. So what happened was... I was serving tables, and we have a dining room, and we have a bowling alley. And I was scheduled and placed in the dining room. And about, like, I don't know. I have, like, 4 tables that I'm helping. And my manager comes up to me and she says, "Hey, I need some help on the bowling lanes. You think you can help with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can try to take some." And, like, I'm actively doing shit. I'm, like, visibly, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but, like, I got my hands full, you know? I don't think I want to do that, because they look too similar. I want them to look like they're in a family, not like they're identical twins. Anyways, I was like, yeah, sure, I could, like, help where I can. And she was like, alright, cool. And then the server who was working in the bowling lanes, he comes over and he's talking to me, and he's talking about, okay, I had this lane, and, you know, whatever. Transfers this motherfucker. I'm a little pissed at him. Transfers his lane over to me. He says, they're lane 6, they already ordered all their food. All you need to do is close them out. I don't know why he had to leave. I don't know if, like, he had some sort of emergency or something going on. But he split, you know. I said, okay, you know, whatever, sounds good. He made it sound super easy. I walked over to lane 6. Wait a second. Lane 6 doesn't have any shit on their fucking table. And I walk up to them, I say, hey guys, did you have, you know, this guy is your server earlier? And they were like, no. We're a part of a birthday party. And I was like, cool. So now I have this, like, $70 tab that is technically my responsibility now. And I don't know who the fuck owes money on it. And so I went over to another server and I was like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. Are you busy? And he was like, not really. Why? And I was like, I need you to, like, find out who owes me $70 because somebody owes me $70 and I can't find who. And he was like, yeah, I got you. No worries. And how fucking embarrassing is this? He starts walking around. And I mean, what else is he going to do? I'm not saying that this was, like, the wrong thing for him to do. I'm just saying it's embarrassing as, like, a company that this had to happen. Starts walking around to every person in the vicinity, asking them, hey, did you have an open tab with us? Oh my god. Come on, dude. What the fuck? Are we for realsies? Are we serial with each other? You know? Anyways. He finds somebody and he tells me, he goes, hey, I closed them out. Don't worry about it anymore. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go back to what I was doing. And then I get a radio from our store manager. And she says, hey, I need you to come out here because somebody got charged incorrectly and you need to fix it. And I said, all right, that's weird. but okay. So I walk out there and I see this lady who I've never spoken to, who I do not know who she is, and my name is on the receipt because the table was under my name, even though I literally had nothing to do with the table. And I was sitting there, I was like, what's up? And she goes, well, she was charged, like $90, and she's saying that she didn't get like this item, and she shouldn't have been charged for it. And I was like, okay, I didn't close her out. And I went and got the guy that closed her out, and I was like, can you figure out what happened? Because I'm like busy helping 5 other tables at this point. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And as I'm getting ready to walk away, another one of my coworkers walks up, and she goes, hey, lane 14 needs help. And I said, okay, I don't know if that's me. And she was like, okay, well, they've been waiting for a server for about 20 minutes. And I said, all right. And then she walked away, and I said, okay, whatever. Not my problem anymore. She decided to walk away. I don't like that. But that looks weird too. That's fine, whatever. Maybe it'll be better if I do like plants instead. So I walk away assuming everything's gonna get taken care of. I gotta go work on my other tables, and I walk back. I greet this other table that just got sat in my section. That I had to have like my host walk over, because we're supposed to greet them within like a minute of them being sat. And my host, what was I grabbing? Plants. My host had sat them, and it had been like 5 minutes since they had been seated, and I hadn't greeted them. I hadn't gotten drinks for them. Nothing happened for them. And I like told my host, I was like, dude, can you go over there and tell them that I'm going to be over there in a few minutes? I got held up with another table. And he's like, yeah, sure. I walk out there. Hey guys, can I get you some drinks? Whatever. Go over to my other table, and they're missing silverware. So I'm like, shit. I go grab them some silverware. As I'm walking out with my silverware, my manager, different manager, not the one that was dealing with that lady, different manager, she goes, hey, lane 14 needs help. As I'm like leaving the expo line, and I said, okay. And I kept walking because I was doing shit. And she goes, hey, come back here. And I turned back around and I said, what? And she goes, not okay. And I was like, what do you want me to say? And she was like, are you going to help them? And before I could utter a fucking word out of my mouth, listen, it wasn't like I paused. It wasn't like I hesitated. I wasn't going to miss a goddamn beat. I was going to fucking reply to her. And she goes, because you keep saying okay. And I was like, what? When the fuck did I say? The only other person I've said... First of all, this is the second time I've heard about lane 14. I don't know where 20 minutes came from. Okay, I don't know why the fuck these people have been waiting for 20 minutes. Because I've been here for about 30. And I've picked... I have all these fucking lanes in my... Anyways, I got my shit full. And she's like, are you going to do it? And before I could respond, she goes, because you keep saying okay. And I was like, all right. Like, what the fuck do you want me to say? And she goes, no, like, I don't understand why you can't just ask for help. And I said, okay, then help me. Because here's my problem with why she was getting mad at me. I don't know why the fuck she was getting mad at me, because clearly we're understaffed. Otherwise, you wouldn't have my ass working dining and every single bowling lane. You wanted me to take care of 22 bowling lanes? Here's the reason why I didn't immediately rush over to 14 the first time they told me that 14 needed help. Because 14 is in our VIP section. That's normally a server is dedicated to just VIP. You don't have somebody working all of lanes and VIP. You just have somebody in VIP. So, actually, wait, this will be cool. It's going to be like a slanted roof. Yeah. But it should be 4 and 3, not 3 and 2. So that's why I didn't immediately rush over there when they told me that, because I was like, surely somebody else is handling. Listen, we're understaffed. I have 3 other servers on the clock with me. Why was I tasked? I have the busiest section in our dining room. I have every. When do you listen? When you go to a restaurant and the server goes, "Do you want a table or a booth?" What do you say? A booth. Everybody wants a fucking booth. They're more comfortable. Every single booth in the restaurant was my section. Every single booth. Every other server working the restaurant had 1 to 2 tables. I had 4 tables. And then I had a 5th table that I had to go greet. So I wasn't rushing. Anyways, I don't need to defend myself to you guys. You're on my side because you're only hearing my side of the story. What am I doing? Just make it pale like. So she's like, you need to learn how to ask for help. And I was like, okay, then can you help me? Because I was under the impression that I was the only person that was available to take those tables. And so I wasn't allowed to ask for help. Because the way you phrased shit when you said, can I handle it, was like, well, you're going to need to fucking handle it because this guy's going home for fucking some goddamn reason. Even though his relief isn't coming for an hour and a half. I don't know where he went. And let's do. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about what roof color to do this shit. And so yeah, and then we droop down one more. Is that crazy cool? Anyways, and then she starts going off on me about like how I'm not. I don't even honestly. She was just she started fucking going off that I just like kind of blanked out for a minute because I was extremely overwhelmed with everything that was going on. Oh shit. And I kind of blacked out for a second. And all I remember after that shit happened was her going, "So you need to fix your face." And I was like, "Huh? I need to fix my face? Did you just fucking say that to me?" Which I have half a goddamn mind to walk out this fucking place right now. What the fuck is that? You need to fix your face. Says who? None of my tables. My tables think my face is handsome. What the hell? Anyways, she says that shit to me. And this is in front of like 6 of my fucking coworkers. That is super unprofessional. What is that? Pull me aside. Like, why are you going off on me on the expo line in front of a bunch of my fucking coworkers? That's not cool. You don't do that to somebody. And I was like, whatever, you know, I don't care. I do care. It bothered me. But, like, you know, what am I going to fucking do? Sit there and cry about it? No, I got 5 tables. I got to go secure my goddamn tips. I don't like that. Maybe this should... Ooh. Big brain. Yeah. I don't know. And then, well, what also pissed me off about it... Yeah, that's right. That's what that should be. Was that... What happened after that... Oh, that sucks. What can I do about that? I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. That looks a little weird, doesn't it? I think what makes it look weird is this. Nah. I like that. I'm happy with that. Like 30 minutes pass and she walks up to me, doesn't apologize for how she spoke to me. Well, first of all, hang on. Let's get the timeline correct. She does all that shit. She says, "Fix your face." And I said, "Okay." And I walked away. Oh, no. And then she said, because I'm having another server. She was like, "I'm having another server take the table, take the lane now." And I said, "All right." So here's the thing. She told me lane 14 needed help when she had already sent another server over there to help them, just so that she could tell me, so that she could get me to say okay, because she was like anticipating me saying okay, so that she could fucking chew me out in front of all my coworkers. Like, what the fuck type of shit what type of childish power trip are you on, brother? What is that? You're gonna go off on me in front of all my coworkers and pull that shit? That's weird. That is weird as fuck. If you already sent a server over there, why are you talking to me right now? Clearly you don't need me to do anything, and you can see that I'm swamped with shit. Was your point to prove that I should have asked for help? Because here's what you could have done instead. "Hey, dude, can I talk to you really quick? This lane had to wait about 20 minutes to get a server. You were supposed to go help them, and I don't know what happened, but you weren't able to. You needed to ask for help when you were told that they needed help." That's how an adult does that shit. When I was a manager, that's how I did that shit. I wouldn't call out my fucking baristas in front of all of their coworkers, in front of all of the other baristas. Because that doesn't do anything. That just builds resentment within your barista towards you. Because you know what? I really fucking liked her as a manager. I thought she was a cool-ass manager. That's just childish. Now I see her as somebody who's power-hungry. Because that's weird. For you to do that shit in front of my coworkers. I don't like that. I don't like that you did that to me. And then, 10 minutes later, you did it to another one of my coworkers. Weird as fuck. Why are you doing that? We're all stressed out. I'm one of the strongest members on our team. You know, 10 minutes later when she did it to my coworker, our other strongest member on our team. Probably our strongest expo person. Our strongest person on expo. She's sitting there cutting cookies in half because we're out of fucking prepped cookies. And she comes over and she starts giving her shit because she's not wearing gloves. And she's like, "I just washed my hands." And she goes, "I don't care. You need to wear gloves. Even prep wears gloves." And she was like, "I literally just washed my hands and I don't have any gloves near me that fit me. The gloves are fucking locked in a cage. We need to get a manager to open the cage to get the gloves. It's a shit system. It takes forever. The managers don't respond soon enough. So I'm sitting there. If I want to get fucking gloves and I don't have a pair that fit me, I gotta wait 15 minutes for my fucking manager to go grab me a goddamn pair of gloves. Now my task is 15 minutes behind. You think I have 15 minutes to spare in that goddamn restaurant? I don't. Every second counts. It's insane. And she does the same shit, and then you know, she gives her this whole fucking long thing about how she's not like doing shit properly, and she's like, "It's getting done, isn't it?" And you know, she gets mad because she's giving her fucking attitude. I don't give attitude. I just say okay. And now some people read that as attitude. I've had managers get mad at me because I do that, and I just go okay. And they're like, "Is that all you have to say?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck do you want me to say?" "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." No, okay. Whatever. Good job. Now you pissed me off. You could have just been a normal human being about it and not fucking power trip. It's weird. Anyways. You know, it's just, and then it throws me off my fucking game. I'm doing all this shit, and now I'm stressed out because of all the responsibilities I have in this godforsaken building. And now I have my fuck-ass manager on my back about some shit that, like, why is that my fault? Why is any of that shit my fault? And she didn't want to know what happened. 30 minutes later, she comes up to me, doesn't apologize. She goes, "Hey, you good now?" Am I good now? Am I good now? I said, yeah, I'm chilling. Listen, you know what happened? And I explained to her what happened, and she said, okay, well, you need to learn how to ask for help. And I said, that's cool and all. I didn't know I had help available to me. The picture was painted to me as if I had no help available to me. If there was help, why was the entirety of the bowling lanes assigned to me? I will not take responsibility for your lack of management. I do not know all of my resources because that is not my fucking job to know who is where. That is your job to know who is where because you're a manager. My job is to keep track of my 5 goddamn tables, their food, their drinks, their needs, not where my coworkers are, not who is available to help me. That is your fucking job. You get paid $80,000 a year to do that shit. I get paid minimum wage. That's not my goddamn responsibility. Anyways. As you can tell, I'm a little fucking heated over this shit. They got under my nerves. Under my skin. Under my nerves. I can't even express myself properly. I'm so goddamn upset. It's really not that bad. Now, here's the thing. How do you approach this situation now as me? How do me approach situation now? Because I got a couple of options, right? I could go up to her and be like, hey, that wasn't fucking cool. And sit down with her and be like, I didn't appreciate how you spoke to me on fucking Sunday. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do that. Okay. What does that do? Right? I'll tell you what that does. That creates a situation where now there's some weird fucking tension, right? Now she has to walk on fucking eggshells around me because I'm a sensitive little baby that got my feelings hurt when she said fix your face. Did it hurt my feelings? A little bit, because I was like, the fuck's wrong with my face? Does it matter? No, not at all. Now, you might make the argument, yes, of you should talk to her about it because having good communication helps reduce any sort of resentment that you may hold towards your manager, whatever. Bro, where the fuck are all my flowers? I could have sworn I had more flowers. I'm like almost certain that I had more flowers. This is weird. Maybe they're like in the chest in the old house. I don't just want a bunch of rose bushes. I thought I had like the peonies, whatever they're called. It might be like, you know, having the good communication and expressing how her words made you feel helps. Oh, there's no fucking chest here. I'm gonna go look for flowers, I guess. Reduces any sort of resentment you may have and establishes, you know, whatever. That's fair and all. Here's my counter argument to that. I don't really give a shit. It's my fucking job. It's my manager who I don't fucking talk to outside of my job. Like, if she wants to be a dick to me, she can be a dick to me. I don't really care. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know, it doesn't matter. What she says to me does not. I think I want to change the inner color of this, kind of how those are alternated. Anyways, not alternated. Hey, These houses are coming together, guys. It's just, you know. Why do I give a shit? She's not somebody in my personal life, right? I care about, like, having good communication skills with people that are in my personal life. It just seems like a headache to try to talk to her about this shit. I know she's not going to be receptive. I know she's going to give me some shit that's like, well, you're in the restaurant industry. This is how people talk to each other. And, like, it's not. It's not. I get my point across. Our chef gets his point across. We're all very firm with each other. We don't, like, sugarcoat shit. We're not dicks to each other. We don't say things like, fix your face. That's weird. That's something that, like, my mom would say to me when I was a little kid. And I wasn't, like, acting well during a social event or some shit. That's not something my manager should say to me. Because, and here's the other thing. What I kept thinking about was, like, she wouldn't use this type of tone or language with somebody who is in their 40s. She is using this type of language. She is using this attitude because I'm in my 20s. And she thinks it's okay to speak to me like that because of how young I am. And that's not the first time I've experienced something like that. Ooh. I kind of fuck with that. No, I don't. But it could be cool on these. Yeah, I like that. Get rid of the fences. Which is something else that I could, like, bitch and moan about, but it's just... What is complaining about my treatment going to do? And I know you're like, maybe it'll fix the treatment. You know, I've complained about my treatment there for the past year and it hasn't done anything. And I know that's, like, kind of the point, is, like, you shouldn't give up just because it's not working. You should continue doing it. And I full-heartedly agree with that in some aspects. I am a big, like, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease type of guy. It's also kind of like... I don't know. What it read to me as, the whole situation with her, it felt like she was really stressed out and she didn't know how to manage her stress. So I don't even really feel like I'm taking what she said to me that personally, because that's really, like, how I'm viewing it in my brain. Is that she didn't know how to manage her stress. And so she lashed out on a couple of us. It wasn't a me thing. It wasn't something my coworker did wrong. It was literally nothing other than she just didn't know what to do with herself. Something went wrong and she got fucking mad at me over it. Like, I want stairs on this one. Nah. Maybe I'll do one more larger house right here and I'll do stairs for the roof on that one. I think I like slabs for most of them. Well, that was an accident, but we can go with that. No, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't know. Also, like, I'm not gonna see her for, like, 4 to 5 more days. Or, you know, that doesn't invalidate. I don't think it would be wrong to talk to her about it. I just don't really think I care enough to talk to her about it. Instead, what I'm going to do is sit here and tell myself that she's immature and she didn't know how to manage her stress. Does that make her a bad manager? Yeah. That does, actually. That makes her a pretty poor manager. You shouldn't be in management position if you can't handle shit going wrong without yelling at your workers. That's just what it is. Kind of want to do something with this tree too. You should be able to slow down and recognize that you are, because here's the thing. As somebody who's been in both positions, it is so much easier to be a manager. It is so much easier to be a manager. Because here's the thing. If you fuck up as a manager, a customer is going to yell at you. If you fuck up as a server or as a barista or as whatever else, a customer is going to yell at you, and then your manager is going to write you up. And you might lose your fucking job. It is so much worse being a worker. It is so much easier to keep your cool as a manager because you have no repercussions unless you, like, you know, colossally fuck up. Which at that point, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you can start panicking. Whatever. Moral of the story is, don't let your fucking asshole manager who doesn't know how to regulate their own emotions get under your skin. Because I was letting it get under my skin. And it still kind of is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and act like it doesn't bother me. I wouldn't be fucking yelling about it on YouTube at 7 in the morning if it didn't bother me. It bothers me. But it's also, you know, shouldn't let it. Something had happened, passed, you know. If it happens again, I'm not going to say, okay. I'm going to be like, you can't talk to me like that. Honestly, caught me off guard. I've worked with her for a year at this point, and she's never spoken to me like that. That was fucking crazy. Most of the managers are afraid to speak to me like that because they understand if I walk out, they are fucked. Whatever, I got over $200 in tips today. Who gives a shit? I had this elderly black couple that were the nicest people I've ever met. Holy shit. And she got an Irish coffee. I said, hey, as an Irishman, you got good taste. I've actually never had an Irish coffee, despite being Irish. Anyways, the fuck's this guy think he's doing? Hello? Hey, private property, dick. Freak. Believe that guy? What you got? Unbreaking? You needed that on your fucking face. Idiot. Oh, wait, let me disenchant that for levels. Is it up here still? Did I? Anyways, I don't care. Overall, it was a good day. I went and saw my girlfriend afterwards. We got Korean dessert. Korean shaved ice. It's pretty good. And taiyaki, also pretty good. Why would I let one exchange ruin my entire day? That would be stupid. So I didn't. Instead, I came home and I played Mario Maker. Alright. This will be the video. I built 3 more houses. Check that out. 3? Did I build that one this episode? Am I crazy? I built that one this episode. Yeah, I built 3. So fucking tired I am. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm gonna change the roof on that one. It looks too much. It's literally the same roof. I need every roof to be a little unique. Maybe not. Maybe if I like duplicate that one too, then it'll be fine. A couple of duplications, but just not next to each other. That's for next time. And until then, I will see you gamers on the next one. This is a better video. Later.